Once again, welcome back, if many of the familiar faces of people who are here year after year for our celebration of French and everything about French. And before we begin our formal program, I think we have some excited young kids here who would like to entertain us. So it's my pleasure to introduce to you the French American School of Rhode Island Choir. Whoever's in charge of the kids, I'll let them get inside.
Dominique Grégoire, the president of the Alliance Française. We are very, very happy with you.
Oh, no.
I'm very happy. Let me check. I would say no.
Hi, guys. Come on, guys.
There you go.
think I stole one for you.
Sure.
It's hard to compete with the kids.
Why don't we again say thank you to the French American School Choir for the great job they do. With all due respect to the dignitaries that are here today who are going to be speaking, I think the highlight each year of this event is listening to that choir as we get started. And because next we're going to have the national anthems by the Alliance Française of Providence Choir. Please stand. Thank you very much to our choir from the Alliance Française for that fine presentation. So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Roger Bejan. I serve as the Honorary Consul of France in Rhode Island, and I've had the privilege of being able to serve as the Master of Ceremonies for this event for the last several years, and it's always a treat to do this. You know, this time of the year where every ethnic group celebrates who they are. We had the Irish and the Italians, and this is a day for the French. And, you know, as a country, we celebrate our diversity, but also we also celebrate our identity. And this is really kind of a nice combination, and it's a wonderful occasion to remember who we are, a little bit about our history, and what we are about as people. And so that's what this day is all about. And this program is something that happens, it's prepared and planned for by several groups in Rhode Island, and I just want to recognize them and say thank you for the work that you do to put this kind of an event together. This is under the Rhode Island League of Francophonie and Francophonie organizations. We have the Museum of Work and Culture, which is a division of the Rhode Island Historical Society, the Alliance Française of Providence, the American Association of Teachers of French, the French-American School of Providence, the Rhode Island International Film Festival, the Club Richelieu and Club Aaron Pothier of Woonsocket, and the American French Genealogical Society. So let's have a round of applause and thank them for all that they do. And I do have to say a special thank you to Ann Conway, because she's really the person that kind of coordinates everything. Thank you very much, Ann, for all that you do. As we all know, Ann is the director of the Museum of Work and Culture in Woonsocket. To begin our program, as I said, we have representatives of the governments that are here and dignitaries from our state. And really, it's a privilege for us to have the Secretary of State for the state of Rhode Island with us today. She's a friend. She's a hardworking Secretary of State. She's out and about all the time. And I think all Rhode Islanders are very proud to call her our Secretary of State, Nellie Gobert.
Thanks. Bonjour, bienvenue. Welcome to your State House. Unfortunately, that's as much as my French goes. I have a 10th grade daughter who is doing very well in her French, though, in addition to her Spanish. As a Puerto Rican, I am very much aware of how important it is, as a parent, to make sure that our kids, our children, really celebrate the beauty that is their identity, as you very well put it, Lieutenant Governor Roger Bejan, as part of the United States of America. And so it is really a wonderful experience, as I know you've had many, many times, not just here, but to be able to be in this space of the State House and celebrate with every community in their own particular way this beauty that is our fabric as a country. And so I welcome you to your State House. And I want to, of course, acknowledge my colleagues in government who have joined us here today. And I know that we have Representative Casey, Representative Phillips, and then Senators Murray and Picard, I know are back there. Hi. And I know that there will be others that will be coming in and out, because this is a very important community in Rhode Island. Not just historically, which is how I know it, actually having visited the Museum of Work and Culture on several occasions, and really what's the beauty of being able to visit museums, or in my case, the Rhode Island State Archives, is that they really are time capsules into our community and to who we are. And I'll speak a little bit more about that. But I also want to, of course, welcome our guests today. And particularly, I want to give a very warm welcome to the fairly new cultural attaché to the Consul General of France, Latifa Bentiri, the Consul General of Haiti, Stephanie Jean, Marie-José Duquette, who is the Cultural and Francophone Affairs Attaché for Quebec, and Marc Jacques, Senior Political and Economic Affairs Officer for the Consul General of Canada. And we have a mutual friend, the ambassador to the United Nations, Marc-André Blanchard, and I studied at Columbia University together, and so we just took a selfie shot to send to him and say hi. Because in Rhode Island, we're all related to everybody. So yeah, as I was saying, what's really wonderful about being Secretary of State is that I have this Rhode Island State Archives that has 400 years of Rhode Island's history, governmental history. And so today, I've brought a couple of things from our really 10 million records and documents dating back to the 1600s. And as I was saying, these documents really serve as a time capsule into our history, but that really we can open at any time and to see how the lives of ordinary Rhode Islanders really helped make who we are today, not just as a state, but as a country. And so we have, for example, countless of petitions signed by, millions of Rhode Islanders. We also have photographs that offer fun snapshots into our past. And so, for example, I brought with me today some photos of when the French Merci train visited Rhode Island in 1949, and I'll leave these behind. But you can actually see them up close and personal at the Rhode Island State Archives, which is located in downtown Providence. We have 2 hours of validated parking, and you can come in and see them at your leisure. So I'll pass these on to our esteemed guests. And I also brought with me a copy of our certificate of election for Rhode Island's first governor of French-Canadian descent, Aaron Pothier, elected in 1912. So, and there's a school actually on Woonsocket that's actually has his name, and it goes to, sort of again, identifying and bringing forward our history. Each of us has the power to transform things around us. But it's only when we learn from each other's experiences and we hear those other different perspectives that we can really move forward as a community. So I'll leave these here for you to look at as facsimiles. Please feel free to come out to our Rhode Island State Archives. Welcome again. I unfortunately have to take off because of craziness of my schedule today. But I look forward to seeing you again and again and again. And welcome, it's your State House.
Thank you very much to our Secretary of State, and thank you for bringing that historical memorabilia of Rhode Island. We have members of the legislature, the state legislature here, members of the House and the Senate. I believe we have Senator Murray and Senator Pickard who are here, I believe, so wave to them. Thank you very much for being here. And I'd like to call upon, I'm not sure if all three are here, but we have Representatives Casey, Phillips, and Warren who are here, and I'd like to invite them to the podium.
I guess I'm up. Bonjour à tous. Je suis Robert Phillips, représentant de la ville de Woonsocket. Ça fait de très longtemps que j'ai étudié le français, mais je tiens à vous souhaiter la bienvenue au Statehouse du Rhode Island. Merci. And now for further comments, I'll ask Representative Casey to come forward.
Thank you very much. Merci. Thank you for being here. Bonjour. That's about the extent of my French language speaking abilities. Congratulations. Very nice job, Representative Phillips. I would like to just take a moment and recognize Representative Tom Norrie, who is also here. In keeping with tradition, celebrating Francophonie here in Rhode Island at the State House, we do have citations for each of our dignitaries and guests. And what I'd like to do is just read one of them. Each of our dignitaries will receive them as well. This is from the Rhode Island State House, the State of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations. Be it hereby known to all that the Rhode Island House of Representatives hereby offers its sincerest congratulations to Stephanie Jean, Consul General of Haiti, in recognition of the Francophone flag-raising ceremony at the Rhode Island Statehouse and celebrating the rich and diverse Francophone culture, customs, and values in the state of Rhode Island, given this day, the 21st of March, 2019, by Representatives Casey, Moran, and Phillips from Woonsocket, and also signed by the Speaker of the House, Nicholas Mattiello, Joseph Sicarci, Majority Leader, and Blake Filippi, Minority Leader. All right, thank you. And I would just like to give a little shout out to our Museum of Work and Culture. Secretary Gorbea mentioned that she had pictures of the Mercy train, but we actually have one at the Woonsocket Museum, so if you would like to come by and visit that, it's quite a sight to see. It's been fully restored. So thank you very much. Roger?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
So as we celebrate French-speaking nations, governments across the globe, this is truly an international celebration that is occurring across the globe. And we are honored to have representatives of other countries who are here today. As was referenced earlier, we have the Consul General of Haiti, Stephanie Jean, is here, and I would like to invite her to say a few words. Stephanie?
Wow, thank you very much. As you can see, I'm very moved right now because I wasn't expecting the salutation, and I want to thank you very much for the welcome, as it's my first time here in Rhode Island. Let me start by saying hi first. I was planning on salute the Madame Secretary of State. She just left, and Mr. President of the Alliance Française, distinguished officials, honorable diplomats, members of the Alliance Française, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and also my colleague who also are here with me today. It is always with great joy and great pride that I join you on behalf of my country, Haiti, and our Haitian community in New England to celebrate the Francophonie. This trip filled with surprises, excitement, curiosity, adventures, and lessons, in which I had the chance to embark for the first time this year since my mission outside of my country, thanks to the invitation of the Alliance Française and the accompaniment of my colleague Claudie Bidon, our chargée de culturelle au Consulat Général d'Haïti. I thank you very much for this rewarding experience that sadly for me approaching to an end. An experience that allowed me to realize a lot of things about the French language that we came from everywhere to celebrate today, this month. French, when you hear this word, for me, this word, it's not just a spoken language. It is a noun, an adjective, a style. It is also a description of the most beautiful things, like love, for the whole world. A definition of values, tradition, culture, history, which for us, Haitian nation, defines freedom. And also, union, why not? Since it represents a link that connects several worlds to form only one world, the Francophonie one. A world that, in its composition, encompasses differences and divergences as human beings, but manage to unite and connect us in one common spirit. It is also an expression of the greatest diversity and pluralism that can exist while having the ability to unify all this in one word, art. Yes, everything becomes art with French. Starting with cooking, table manners, music, cinema, painting, even manicure. Who in this world does not share this art? What makes the Francophonie not only connects the Francophile, but also the whole planet. To continue with my definition of French, it also represents, in the socio-economic world, the choice of a future. Access that promotes exchanges and an essential tool to education and training, not to mention family, which is the base of the whole society, and the base of all the values, which I just mentioned earlier. You must be asking yourself, why family? Well, let me tell you this story. It happened in Maine earlier this week, where I attend the flag raising of the Francophonie, and they delayed the ceremony just to hang the Haitian flag up there. And I was so nervous. I was wondering, what was I doing here? Where's Haiti? And as soon as I saw the flag, that gesture at this moment was, for me, the feeling of acceptance, of belonging. And I automatically felt home and welcomed. So it meant a lot for me and for Haiti, for my country. I am thanking you not only for this welcome in Maine, but for welcoming Haiti as a francophile country. We are proud to be part of this world and to contribute and getting involved in it. Vive la France, vive la langue française et vive la francophonie. Merci.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Those words were beautifully spoken. Thank you so much for being here. And this is a day where we are all one. So thank you for being part of it. The Consul General of France personally was not able to be here, but we have the cultural attaché to the Council of France, Latifa Benitri, is here. Just a little bit taller.
Yeah. But my colleague Canadian is lucky because she's coming after me. Dear friend, chers amis francophones et amis de la francophonie, je suis très heureuse d'être avec vous aujourd'hui pour célébrer la francophonie dans ce bel état du Rhode Island. I would like to thank Secretary of State Nelly Gobert and the Woonsocket representative for hosting this flag-raising ceremony, as well as Anne Conway and Dominique Grégoire and Roger Béja. This celebration shows us how lively the French community is in Rhode Island, where almost 20% of the people have a Francophone origin. While the French language is a part of the New England heritage, through the descendants of the Acadians, French speakers of Canada and Quebec, and quite a few French migrants. It's also a language which renewed and strengthened thanks to the newly arrived French-speaking populations from Haiti, Lebanon, Africa, or other parts of the world. This is the reason why the promotion of the French language is one of the top priorities of France in New England. In this respect, I would like to thank all those who helped to promote it here, such as the Alliance Française of Providence and Newport, the French-American School of Providence, the professors and students of French Department of Rhode Island University, and, of course, dear Honorary Consul Roger Bégin, who has provided outstanding and wonderful support. Thank you. The success of the French language is due to the parents' wish to pass on the language and culture, the increasing success of bilingualism, which is an asset for our children, and the awareness of a Francophone world that is also a worldwide economic area. We mustn't forget that the French language is the second most learned foreign language in the world, and the only one language, along with English, spoken on 5 continents. Moreover, there are almost 300 million French speakers today. There should be 700 million in 2050. So, the vitality of the French language in Rhode Island is an asset for this state. This can help it strengthen its links with Canada and Quebec, but also with the whole francophone world, including la France. Amis francophones du Rhode Island et de la Nouvelle-Angleterre, je vous souhaite un très bon mois de la francophonie. Vive l'amitié entre la France, les francophones et le Rhode Island, et vive la francophonie. Merci.
Now up to the back. Thank you so much, Latifa. Thank you for being here. As you described the percentage, the number of people from Rhode Island whose heritage derives from is French, and there is a large segment, I think clearly a majority of those whose heritage comes from, to the north, Quebec. And many of the people who are here today, I think, claim that history. And this afternoon, we're pleased that Marie-Joseph Duquette, who is the Communications, Cultural, and Francophone Affairs Attaché for the Quebec Delegate in New England, is here. I'd like to invite her to say a few words. Thank you.
Distingués invités, amis du Rhode Island, bonjour. Je suis Marie-Josée Duquette, attachée à la culture et à la francophonie de la délégation du Québec à Boston. Et je suis ici au nom de Mme Marie-Claude Francard, la déléguée qui n'a malheureusement pas pu être ici aujourd'hui pour un empêchement. Hello everyone, I'm Marie-Josée Duquette, attachée in communication, culture and francophonie for the Quebec delegation in New England. And I'm here on behalf of Madame Marie-Claude Francard, the delegate of Quebec to New England. Before I begin, I would like to say thank you to the Secretary Nelly Gorbia, Rhode Island Secretary of State, along with Woonsocket Representative Casey, Moran, and Phillips, and also the Senator Murray and Picard, who are our hosts here today. We are honored to take part in the Rhode Island Francophonie celebration, especially because we have been establishing a relationship with the Francophonie culture in Rhode Island for decades now. Between 1865 and 1920, 10 of thousands of Franco-Canadians migrated to Rhode Island to work in the factory. We said 900,000 people in total migrate to the United States, a third of population of Quebec at the time. In 1920, the town of Woonsocket was known as the most French city in the United States, with more than 70% of the population of French-Canadian origin. Today, nearly 5% of the population still speak French. We take pride in the fact that we have forged strong ties with the members of the Célébration of la Francophonie Committee, like les représentants de l'Alliance française du Rhode Island and the Museum of Work and Culture of Woonsocket. On that note, I would like to say a special thank to Anne Conway, who really organized, this wonderful flag, this wonderful event today, and also with this wonderful partnership that we have. Je tiens à réitérer que c'est un grand plaisir pour moi et pour la délégation d'être parmi vous ici, de souligner annuellement la contribution des francophones à la vie économique, politique, sociale et culturelle du Rhode Island. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you. As part of the North American continent, we have our friends from the north, the government of Canada, an important ally to the United States, an important economic ally in trade, and we are pleased this afternoon that Marc Jacques, who is the Senior Political and Economic Affairs Officer for the Consul General of Canada, is here.
Bonjour à mes amis francophones et francophiles. Merci beaucoup à mes amis diplomatiques. Thank you to our distinguished guests from the state for joining us. Cher Roger et chère Anne, il me fait toujours un plaisir d'être ici avec vous. Merci beaucoup de votre dévouement à cet événement et de célébration de la francophonie ici en Rhode Island. Est-ce qu'il y a des gens qui parlent français ici? Oui? Bon. Donc, nous sommes ici pour célébrer cette belle langue et plus importante, plus spécifiquement dans cette région, cet État, un héritage partagé, une langue partagée, une famille partagée. For well over 3 centuries, people from Quebec and Rhode Island have been partnering, both in terms of people moving down here. You stole a bit of my thunder. The idea that Rhode Island is, or Canada is your largest trading partner. Likewise, Canada and the United States have been fighting hand in hand throughout the world for well over 2 centuries, and it's a story that we're all very proud of. Plus important, je suis très heureux qu'il y ait des jeunes ici. A little sad that the larger group of young people left, but we always talk about this shared history and how for centuries this and centuries that. Well, more important than that history is the fact that we need to work together to make French a language that survives here in New England, in Rhode Island. And as Marie-Josée mentioned, it's working with parents that do that and the schools that do that. And we need to find ways that our kids can not only learn in school, but more importantly, live in French. We meet so many people that went to school in French or studied French in high school or in university, and then they've lost their French and they had no opportunity to practice it. So for French to survive, we really need to have the opportunities to continue, whether that's through exchange programs or junior abroad, or just finding more opportunities like Alliance Française, les Clubs Richelieu ici, and le Musée du Travail de la Culture à Woonsocket. Donc, je ne peux pas prendre trop de temps avant une petite réception, mais merci beaucoup et vive la francophonie. Merci.
Each year, we're pleased to recognize and introduce Michel Hibert, who is the president of the American Association of Teachers of France, Teachers of French, along with his students, who each year show us the great work that they've done and share with us their own thoughts and words about French. Michel?
Ok, bonjour. De la part de l'Association américaine des professeurs de français, c'est un honneur une nouvelle fois d'être ici parmi ce groupe distingué de France, d'Haïti, du Canada, bien sûr du Rhode Island, pour célébrer la francophonie ici à Providence. Et je vous souhaite tous et toutes une très bonne fête de la francophonie. I'm honored to be back here this year to celebrate Francophonie on behalf of the American Association of Teachers of French. And what's more, I'm proud to be introducing a group of students from Classical High School in Providence. They all are studying French 4 AP, the advanced placement of French studies at Classical High School. Some of them have been studying French since the 6th grade, so this is quite a capstone for them. It's been rewarding for me to see them grow in their cultural and linguistic knowledge, these two traits that are undoubtedly important in the 21st century. These students surely benefit from our high school, which truly supports world language education, world language programs, and for that I'd like to publicly thank Scott Barr, Principal Scott Barr, for his continued support of French and Francophone studies at Classical High School in as much as an important part of the 21st century classroom. Would you say bonjour to my students? Okay. As you know very well, French is an international language, and the study of the many Francophone cultures around the world is an important part of our students' formation in the age of globalization. Indeed, the students of tomorrow will see a world which will require some kind of cultural and linguistic literacy beyond their native knowledge. With the tremendous current and projected growth of Francophones across the globe, French and Francophone studies are able to offer students access to greater professional opportunities around the globe, and this may include business, medicine, diplomacy, as well as all sorts of things that make life so enjoyable, such as culture and travel, literature, cinema, music, etc. And these are shaping our world in the 21st century. To honor the language of Molière and its diversity, the students will be reciting some often humorous expressions from the many francophone nations around the world. Alors, mesdames et messieurs, je vous présente la classe de français 4 de Classical High School.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Lionel Frich.
Bonjour, je m'appelle David Montenegro.
Nous présentons les phrases qui sont utilisées par la Suisse. Mon expression française vient de Suisse. C'est « y a pas le feu au lac ».
The literal translation is, there's no fire at the lake. It's an expression for, there is no hurry. And cette phrase est aussi utilisée en Suisse. Tout est bon.
It is a Swiss French way of saying goodbye to someone.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Victoria. Et mon expression vient du Cameroun. It says je te llamo, and that means I love you. Okay. Bonjour, je m'appelle Jimzara. Mon expression is côté les yeux de la tête. It is a French expression that means that something costs the eyes in your head. In other words, it's a price that's unreasonable. And the English equivalent to this expression is to cost an arm and a leg.
Bonjour tout le monde, je m'appelle Elvis Tahara. Mon expression française vient du Sénégal, conduit dans les tableaux de chocolat. Elle signifie conduire sur une route de français. So this phrase comes from the Senegal, and the literal translation would be to drive on like chocolate bars, but what it actually means is to drive on bad roads or roads full of potholes. Merci beaucoup.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Janaika. Mon expression est tiens-toi le cou sec et les oreilles molles. Ça veut dire d'être calme. Par exemple, s'il y a une situation difficile, je peux dire reste calme, ça va tout bien, comme ça.
It means in English to stay calm. Et bonjour, je m'appelle Jacqueline et j'ai l'expression j'ai le cafard et ça veut dire je suis triste.
The expression means to be sad. Thank you.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Francesca.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Lola.
Mon expression française vient de Belgique. C'est après moi les mouches. Ça veut dire faire plus de zèle que la personne concernée ou encore aller trop loin dans ses actions et dans ses pensées. In English, this means that you'll do whatever without heeding the consequences.
Mon expression française vient de la France. Se faire rouler dans la farine, ça veut dire se faire duper ou tromper. My phrase means to be rolled in flour, and that basically means to be swindled. Thank you. Merci.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Sarai.
Je m'appelle Marc.
Et mon expression de la francophonie vient du Canada. Avoir les pitons collés. Ça veut dire pris d'un fou rire. In English, it means to laugh a lot.
Mon expression vient de la Belgique. C'est à l'aide de design. Ça veut dire marcher de travers. En anglais, ça veut dire to walk erratically, like in a zigzag.
Bravo. Okay. J'aime the barbe. I like the beard.
You like that?
Yes, very good. Merci.
Thank you all. Thank you to all the students. Let's hear it again for them. Michel Yvette, it's always a treat to have you here with your students, and congratulations for the great work you do in the classroom and for all the teachers of French in all the schools of Rhode Island. So thank you very much for that. Earlier, I recognized the League of the Francophone and Francophile Organizations of Rhode Island. And certainly this gentleman is no stranger. Probably he lives every day as the most enthusiastic advocate for French and French-speaking. My good friend, Dominique Gregoire, who is the president of the Alliance Française of Providence.
Thank you. Bonsoir à tous nos amis. J'allais dire bonsoir à ma Nelly Gorbea, mais je n'en ai pas l'occasion puisqu'elle est partie. Merci for being here. Bonjour, messieurs, dames, messieurs les consuls, les délégués, représentatifs, sénateurs, Roger. It's always a pleasure to get together every year in this magnificent room to greet our young singers, the chorale of the Alliance. It feels good to celebrate our French culture and heritage here in Rhode Island, but also in the entire world. Yes, today is the day of Francophonie all over the world, where more than 200 million people speak French. Some say that in 2050, French will be the second most spoken language in the world, with the fast rise of population in West Africa. I don't know if that's true, but that's Forbes saying it. My name is Dominique Gregoire. I've been asked by my friends at the League of French-Speaking Organizations in Rhode Island to represent them and speak on their behalf. I want to thank them and salute their efforts every day for the promotion of the French language and culture on these shores. I've named Michael Hebert, Anne Conway, of course, Normand Desmarais, who's here somewhere, here, Mary Gail Smith in Newport, you know, and Sean Quirk here from the festival, Agnès Germain, Hope and Change for Haiti, okay? You are the daily ambassadors of our culture and memory. Soon we will inaugurate the rehabilitated statue of Rochambeau on Newport Harbor. I think it's June 6th, okay? Quite a feat of entrepreneurship by the Alliance Française of Newport. Tonight, not only do I represent them, all our friends here, but also the 300 members of the Alliance Française and the 250 families, students, faculty, and administrators of the French-American School of Rhode Island, where I now serve, against my best judgment, as chairman of the board. Thank you, Roger. Thank you. The mere existence and success of these fine institutions attests to the power of our common civic ideals, cultural aspirations, and victorious history that bind our peoples. Those bonds are fragile, however, and it is our daily task to make sure that the truth can prevail and they don't fall prey to hateful proclamations. That is why it's important to remind ourselves that almost every year, this celebration of Francophonie also marks the first day of spring. Nous saluons l'arrivée du printemps. This is indeed an annual renaissance, and we do need it and its humanist message. Tomorrow, our groups will gather for our annual Francofête at the Quantum Club in East Providence, and we will celebrate 500 years of Renaissance in the Loire Valley of France. So let me just take a minute so I can tell you the story of Leonardo da Vinci, a French guy talking about an Italian in America. He was a genial Italian immigrant who lost the financial support of Julien de Médicis in Rome. At the invitation of the King of France, François Ier, the same one who sponsored the voyage of Giovanni da Verrazzano to discover the shores of Narragansett Bay, he left Rome in the fall of 1516 and traveled through the Alps on the back of a mule. He was leading what you would call today a small caravan with his friends Francesco Melzi and Battista de Villanis. In his leather bags, he carried 3 of his best paintings, St. John the Baptist, the Virgin, Jesus, and Saint Anne, and of course, Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa. When he arrived in France at the Chateau of Amboise, the king bestowed him a lavish annual pension of 2,000 royal pounds, the equivalent of $180,000 today. He also gave him a little chateau at Lucé and treated him with great affection and respect, considering him a genius. 500 years ago, on May 2nd, 1519, Leonardo died. The legend says that he died on the chest of the king. The king, the state, inherited the 3 paintings. Last year, 10 million people came to admire the Mona Lisa at the Louvre Museum. Great return on investment. Thank you, Francis. Museums are important, aren't they, Anne? Art and culture is what binds us together. Thank you, Leonardo. Through the ages and through just the face of Mona Lisa, sends us a powerful message of peace, beauty, and truth. That is why today I wanted to pay homage to Leonardo, who gave so much to France, and that one very unique Château de Chambord, a majestic hunting lodge that was never inhabited in the middle of a forest the size of Paris. When you go there, you will have to take the double revolution staircase invented by Leonardo. You go up without ever meeting the person going down on the other side. That might be a good way to keep peace in this very house of the state. Thank you.
Thank you very much. First, I want to thank all of you for being here this afternoon. You know, as I just reflect on everything that we've heard today from our guests and the entertainment that we've enjoyed this afternoon, we've enjoyed all ages of people who are here. We've enjoyed the geography of a global celebration of France. We've learned about the history, learned about the definition of the word French, France. And, you know, that this is truly what it's all about, in understanding that we are one in so many ways. And so I want to thank all of you for being here, for being part of it. A couple of other people who are here that I want to recognize, an organization that was near and dear to me is the Rhode Island Historical Society, where Anne Conway spends her time at the Museum of Work and Culture. But that is part of the Rhode Island Historical Society, and Morgan Greff, who's the executive director, is here, and I want to recognize her. Thank you for all of her support. And Trudy Labrador, who is here. Trudy has been, is another one whose enthusiasm for France and celebrating it is tireless, and she's always here, and I want to thank her for being here this afternoon. Thank you very much, Trudy. I would like to now adjourn this celebration this afternoon to invite everyone to the gallery of the House of Representatives, where we've been invited to be recognized, and some of our guests will be guests in the chamber of the House of Representatives. And I want to again say thank you to all of you for being here, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.